Welcome back to the 2018 KMC Wheels Battle in the Bluegrass. We've been racing all morning long for the 4900 Can-Am UTV class. We just wrapped that up, but now we're about to kick off the EMC guys, the 4600 Pro Comp Stock class, the 4500 Rubicon Express Modified class, and the 4800 G2 Legends class. Again, I'm Miles Hasselquist alongside of Tim Smith. We'll be with you all day long, bring you the action the best we can. It's been a lot of fun so far. The rain has played its toll. It's rained off and on all weekend. Hasn't rained yet today, but there is chances of it. We just checked the radar once again. There's a couple small pop-up showers out there. Are they going to miss us? Are they going to hit us? Time will tell. But we should be live racing right around that 12:30 mark, so just in a few minutes. Tim, what'd you think of the Can-Am UTV race?
I'll tell you what, it was pretty exciting. I'll tell you something else. It was very, very challenging for these guys and folks out here racing today. They, the chore, even though if you knew the course, you've been through the course on practice run, or whether you went back and walked it or whatever, that doesn't matter. I mean, it was just a luck process, and hope you stayed together and hope you didn't have flat tires. The guys are out there struggling, making it up down some of these hills. I know they changed the course a little bit this morning to kind of help make it more safer and stuff for the guys. But we had one finish out of like 24, 25 side by side. So, it was a pretty tough race, pretty exciting stuff. So nobody got hurt, and it was a great day so far.
And I'll run down the rules again real quick. The 4600 Pro Comp Stock class has to have a stock OEM frame, factory engine and transmission, a maximum of a 35-inch DOT tire, single shock per corner, and mechanical steering. So a lot of these are Jeeps, Cherokees, and whatnot. 4500 Rubicon Express Modified class has to have somewhat of an OEM chassis. They can have 2 shocks per corner, maximum of a 2.5-inch diameter, mechanical steering, and 37-inch DOT-approved tires. The 4800 G2 Legends class, a lot of those cars are the retired 4400 cars. They have to have a front engine only. Vehicle has to have 2 seats side by side, single shock per corner, maximum of a 37-inch DOT tire, and solid axle only. So taking the green flag here any minute will be Cade Rod. We'll do 20-second increments. We're going to do another 6 laps for these guys. We had Dustin Friesen for his KMC hard charger, and Albert Contreras for his class. We'll have roughly 30 cars take the line. Remember, we had 25 UTVs go out, and less than half finished this race. So this course is getting beat up. There's still lots of hard climbs out back. It's going to be very interesting. So please stay tuned in live, ultra4racing.com/live. We are live back on Facebook. Hit the share button. Make sure everybody knows we're here. Hit the Instagram, do the hashtags. We should be live racing momentarily.
Well, Miles, I'll tell you what, this kind of changes things up a little bit. I know we talked a little bit earlier about them changing the course a little bit for these guys here. Even though we're running some stock, got almost stock Jeeps and stuff like that. So, it's going to be good. It's going to be tough for them no matter what, or how they changed it. You know what I mean? It's got a pretty good sized turnout too.
Yeah, like I said, we have roughly 30 cars that'll be taking the line. The stock cars do have a couple bypasses on some of the harder trails, so they'll hit the bypass trail. Doesn't really save them any mileage, but these stock guys, they have limited tires, limited horsepower, so we're just trying to make sure these guys can at least make it to the finish. Sean Hollick was the only one to finish 6 complete laps in his 4900 Can-Am run. So that just shows you how tough this course is going to be. And if it does rain, it's only going to get harder.
That's right. You can tell already. From the beginning this morning, we started with 24, 25 side-by-sides out here and had one to actually finish 6 laps. Had one to finish 6 laps. That just tells the ladies and gentlemen out there on how tough the course really was.
This is our 3rd and final 4-Wheel Parts Eastern Regional Series race. Up next will be our 3rd and final West Coast Laser Nut Series at Ridgecrest. That's August 11th and 12th, and that throws us right into the Reno Nitto National Championship. That'll be October 20th and 21st, just outside of Reno, Wild West Motorsports Park. That is a great venue to go watch. It's extremely spectator-friendly. They've got huge grandstands. You can see the entire short field. It's on the side of a mountain. Super, super cool place. And while you're there, check out Reno Tahoe. That's a beautiful part of the country up there in the northwest. We will have our banquet afterwards to give out all our series points. We have a Western Series and an Eastern Series, and then a NITO National Championship. And the National Championship is King of the Hammers and the championship race itself, plus 3 of these regional races. Can be East Coast, can be West Coast, but it has to have 3 races to get your score, so a total of 5 races for the NITO National Championship. And to get the East and the West, you just have to race every race in your series, which the Oklahoma race was an East and a West, so there's 5 regional races this season.
Ladies and gentlemen, right here at the DirtyTurtleOffroadPark.com, we have keep following us here on Facebook. We have a lot of different events coming out throughout the whole year, and you can come down and visit our facilities. We've got a great facilities here in Bedford, Kentucky. It's not very far off the interstate. It's a great facilities. We've got cabins that you can rent also. We've got shower houses here, full shower houses. A lot of great camping facilities. There's electric plug-ins and stuff like that, and wide open places to pull any size semi, campers, or whatever you want to park. Stay for the weekend, stay for the night, day ride. We've got day ride parking also. And we have a great staff here at the Dirty Turtle Off-Road Park. We've got a great staff here. The guys work really hard on the track for the Ultra 5-4 guys, and we really appreciate them coming down, and look forward to them every year coming here at our track and racing. Just a great Ultra 4 families are just great people just to talk to, and full of all kinds of great information on a lot of the side-by-sides and these Jeeps and stuff, and we learn something every time they come here as far as how they like doing it, and we try to make the track as best we can for them. We really appreciate them. It's great people.
The original course was supposed to be 5.3 miles, but we cut out about 1.75 miles of it, so it's just shy of a 4-mile course with the short course and the woods section. They will start in 20-second increments. They will do 6 laps. We'll have 3 different races going on all at once, so it may be a little tricky to keep following who's who, but we will do our best to keep you guys informed. Again, please hop on social media, hit the share button on Facebook, do the hashtags on Instagram, King of the Hammers and Ultra 4 Racing. If you're here on site with your smartphone, ultra4racing.com/live. You can stream it to your TV if you're at home in the living room or in your garage. I know lots of people. I saw Chip had it in his living room. Pretty cool to see him. I know he wants to be here racing with us, but at least he's being able to have fun at home watching this.
I know Miles, you was talking earlier on the first race. We was talking about the people that's behind the scene and how many people it takes to get a show like this on the way and get it put together and on the road and make sure it's a safe race. I mean, we definitely want to take my hat off to everybody that you bring with you to help put it on, and the people, the staff here at the Dirty Turtle. Take my hat off to these guys and gals out here working today in this muddy conditions and stuff. I mean, you know, what'd you say? A lot of them was here a week ahead?
There's a lot of the team that shows up a week ahead to set up course, set up all the internet that's out here. We bring our own internet on course here, so that just goes to show how technical the Hammer King production crew is. And then all of a sudden with the volunteers on your side with the Dirty Turtle Off-Road Park, our volunteers with the Hammer King safety crew, it takes an army to build this village.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I know they worked, Tina and Scott this year and all them, and the staff here worked really hard on building this new announcer stand throughout the winter, and Will and all them, and man, they've got it going on. And then they got somebody else there on staff, and they're running like solar. We're running pretty much solar now up here at the announcer stand, and that's just a great advantage to us. And we got little windmills going on and stuff, the AC. I mean, it's just from the facilities from last year announcing and stuff over in the little booth considered to this year, it's just, you know, enormous. It's just great. It's just a good thing. And we run all of our you know, like our bus and shell races and stuff like that, they're live feed also, so we bring our own internet, and then you guys come down here and show up with these big trailers. And I went in that trailer this morning, and man, I was impressed. Y'all had 20 laptops, 5, 10 big screen TVs lined up on the wall and fully staffed inside this box trailer. I mean, I was like, wow, you guys have got it going on. But it takes a lot. It really does to kind of, you know, tell people and fill people in on what's going on and stuff. But it takes a lot of people to get something like this on the way. And, you know, like your sponsors, you appreciate all your sponsors. Hey, looks like we got our first one.
And we are live racing Chase Rod, part of Jimmy's 4x4, hot on course, number 4807. And I know Cotton Rod and Randy Rod are back home. They couldn't make this race, but they're home watching right now. I promise you that. Cade is out here pushing hard, hitting the Holly EFI launch jump, landing at the 4-wheel parts landing, heading into RCV corner. Off the line next, the number 890, Jonathan Terhune, part of Team Indiana. Remember, they are leaving in 20-second increments. This race will be on corrected time. Third off the line, our hard charger for the 4500 Rubicon Express class, Dustin Friesen out of Canada. Great to see him in his Trent Fab buggy. This is what it's all about. The next about 20 minutes is going to be fun-filled, packed action in the Dirty Turtle short course. Off the line next. Off the line next is Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s car, driven by Eric Davis. His co-pilot is Lee O'Donnell, the monster truck driver. So it's great to see all the Eastern guys. They're all in that Pennsylvania area. Cool out to see them run with us. So Eric Davis driving Brocky. Off the line next, number 4510, Matt Howell, part of Tribe 16. I believe Adam Shearer is riding shotgun. And one of the fastest guys out on track right now, that is Casey Gilbert, the number 618. If his car is still in one piece after this race, he did qualify for the 4400 race. So Casey Gilbert, hot on course. His dad came and introduced himself to me earlier. He doesn't make many of the races, so he listens. So it's cool to see him be able to come out here and watch. Off the line next, 4860, Jody Ford. He brought me, he took me on a sight lap on Thursday in his UTV. It was really cool to see the course. Jody Ford, part of Team Brannick, hot on course. That should be the next, the number 4531, Sean Rance Sr. We've got a few of the cars heading into the Monster Woods section. We've got a lot of action yet to come. This is busy. There's the number 866, Sean Reisky, part of the 4800 G2 Legends class. Looks like up next should be John Grounds. He's heavily sponsored by Daystar, number 4570. He comes from the West Coast. He's driving his Jeep TJ. Well, that thing isn't muddy. It's a great looking rig. He had a long way to come. I see Casey Gilbert tucking into the Monster Energy Woods section. I expect to see him do very well today, but still out front, Cade Rod, Jimmy's 4x4.
Okay, right now, if you look right there on the screen, you can see him going up through the woods.
So another...
And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, these guys, I mean, they're going to figure it out pretty quick going up into this woods to see how slick these hills are. We even got some backing up going on number 890, buggy number 890. He's having to back up, having a little difficulty trying to get up that hill.
And on course, we just saw the fan favorite, number 63, Jimmy Jack, followed by 26, Dwayne Garrettson.
So these guys are going to definitely experience some bottlenecking in the woods, that's for sure, when they're trying to go up these hills. They've got probably a couple different hills to go up. An easy hill, which is going to take more time, than they got the shorter hill that probably take less time. Getting some great live feed right here from the woods section where we cannot see one from the great guys running the live feed. They're doing a great job for us.
And just taking the line, the number 4899, Jeremy Purick, and 4573, Rob Madzel, hot on the Dirty Turtle short course. Up next, 15th off the line, the number 207, Jim Widmer, in his Trent Fab machine. So we're roughly halfway through all our competitors on course. Remember, they are leaving in 20-second increments, and this race is on corrected time. So just because you're out front does not mean you're in the lead. We see Jimmy Jack heading into the Monster Energy Woods section. Hot on course, the 4517 of Jesse Oliver. Tim, there is a lot of action on course as we speak. This is great.
That's right. Guys are doing a great job on the footage.
So on course, the number 4864, Bob Wimmer. Up next, Jack Racing teammate Rick Levesque. They've really stepped their program up a lot this year. It's really cool to see. He's running a bomber chassis in the 4800 G2 Legends class.
Tell you what, them using the drone out here is really helping us out a bunch too. They'll give us a lot of great shots and letting the people at home see what we're seeing. But there's nothing like being here live, I can tell you that. Isn't that right, Miles?
This is great. We're up in the spotter stand. We can see the entire track, and we're watching the live feed right with you guys. This is cool. So on screen is our physical leader, Cade Rod. We just saw him in the woods just a moment ago. Off the line just now, the 4825, Michael London on course. He should be followed by the number 8100, Mike DeVore. So Mike DeVore hot on course. Up next, the number 4820, Randall Holmes, getting ready to take the start line. .4820, Randall Holmes hot on course. He's running some of that E15 fuel. He brags it up quite a bit, says his engine runs a lot cooler.
Ladies
He's part of the Race Mile 1 crowd.
And if you can see right here online, watching live here on their woods course, you're going to be able to tell these guys are taking a bunch of different ways trying to figure out how the best way to get up these hills. And that's what they're going to be up against today, especially if it rains a little bit more.
So we had two that never showed up to the start line, Matthew Young and David Hartman. So off the line next was 4561 Cody St. Clair. He did not qualify yesterday. They had some issues on the road, showed up late, but are able here to race with us. So the 4561 Cody St. Clair. Off the line, KMC Hard Charger, Albert Contreras out of Compton, California. That's a long, long haul for him. He is our first stock class on course. Great to see Albert Contreras out here racing with us. I may have just felt a raindrop, so we'll see if that starts to pick up or not. The number 4698 on course, Justin Bainey.
Okay, we might have the first one yet to come out of the woods, so that's what we're waiting on. And like I said, we're watching them in the woods area, and look like they're having problems back there trying to figure out which hill is going to be the best hill to go up.
So another driver with a 4677, Christopher Doria. Straight Jacket Racing. They've got a huge following. Great to see them out here racing. Up next will be the 4620 of Ken Carter. Remember, we have roughly 30 vehicles taking the start line for today's race. This is the Everyman Challenge race. We have the 4600 Pro Comp Stock Class, the 4500 Rubicon Express Modified, and the 4800 G2 Legends Class, all on course at the same time. So it looks like heading out on course right now, the 4659 of Michael Justo. So our last car to take the green flag will be the 4632 of John Makowitz. He did not qualify yesterday, but he is on course. We are officially full course racing. Every car is off the line in 20-second increments. This is on corrected time. This is the 2018 KMC Wheels Battle in the BlueGrass. We're just outside of Bedford, Kentucky at the Dirty Turtle Off-Road Park. Every car has left the line. We have just shy of 30 cars that took the line for this race. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we just finished the 4900 Can-Am class. Casey Shear, I saw you at least finished. You were a couple laps shy. How was it out there? How muddy? You look like you've had a rough day.
Yeah, it was an awesome race, man. It was slick as a button out there. I mean, those hill climbs, that shale rock, and bouncing off of trees, I really give all those rock bouncers a lot of respect now. I had no idea how brutal some of those climbs were going to be.
Well, you came all the way from the West Coast. You teamed up with Jack Racing to get your car out here, part of Team Awesome. I'm glad to see you out here. Your brother, Jason Shearer, is our current King of the Hammers winner, so I'm glad to see you out here chasing your dream as well. Thanks again for being out here, Casey.
Thanks, Miles. Thanks to all the Ultra 4 staff and all the volunteers, and also I want to thank Can-Am for getting me out here and my beautiful wife. Thank you guys very much.
All right, well, again, Casey Shear, thanks again. He had his Can-Am out there running. So we've got a lot of racing on course right now. That looks like Cody St. Clair on the screen as we speak, where he's having a little bit of issues in that hill climb. And like I said, it's not raining, but I felt a couple raindrops. Is it going to pick up? Is it going to miss us? Time will tell. This is going to get interesting.
I'll tell you what, it's like we was talking about a while ago. These guys are trying to figure out which hill to go up. The fastest hill, I mean, it's all kind of different strategies these guys are trying back here in the woods right now. Trying out all kinds of different strategies, and that's what it's about. I mean, especially if it rains a little bit. If it rains a little bit, it's going to be even worse, because everything they've been doing and working on as far as trying to figure out which side to hit the hill on, right, left, how much momentum, how much speed, you know, all that will change in a matter of seconds if it gets wet or something. I mean, it's just the way it works. But there is, like I said, a couple different ways to go through this course. There's a short way and a long way. And I think a lot of these guys are just going to sit there and just keep putting the hammer on, hammer down until they figure it out. Right now we're watching Cody St. Clair. I believe it's Cody St. Clair doing that one. Yeah, he's just trying to figure out a different way to get up that hill there. Yep, that's what it is. Cody St. Clair there. He's trying to figure out a way to get up this hill. I mean, he's got to take momentum, man. That's what it's going to be, because the hills are so slick. So much slate laying around that's going up and hitting rocks and just flying back. Well, instead of turning right, he decided he's just going to try to go straight up that hill, which will save him a little bit of time. It's not a bad idea. But I believe he's going to spend more time spinning, so he's going to probably have to back down, turn right, I'm thinking. Turn right and go around that hill and just not worry about the couple extra seconds he's going to save. But it looks like to me Cody's just, he's just putting the hammer down, just trying to get up that hill.
But that just is a great shot to show you how tricky this course is. If it was dry weather, they just roll right up it, but the top is still slick. The UTVs ran through here earlier. They're a lot lighter. They got similar horsepower to some of these guys. So it's going to be tricky. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. The rain, we'll see what happens. Like I said, it is not raining yet. I've just felt a couple raindrops. The clouds are out. The wind is blowing, starting to warm up a little bit, so at least I'm not feeling that cold front like we did just a little bit ago.
That's right. It came through. I thought, Miles, I thought you turned the air conditioner on or something. I wasn't for sure what was going on. Looks like Cody St. Clair, he's sitting there. He's trying to figure out a way to do it. I mean, probably 1,000 things are running through his head right now. I could just imagine. Well, some of the things he's probably thinking, like, well, I'll just turn right here, or should just go up, hit a little bit harder. Left side, right side. Like I said, I mean, once you figure it out, you find the right groove, then every time you go up that hill, as long as you hit it right, then you've got it. I mean, that's just the way it works. And provided it doesn't rain anymore or anything like that, because, of course, if it rains, it kind of changes things a lot. But today they're not chasing dirt, they're chasing mud all day. So it's going to make the course a lot different, of course, that's for sure.
Cody St. Clair was 22nd off the line. Remember that we left in 20-second increments. This race will be on corrected time, just like the 4900 Can-Am race was earlier today.
Miles, we've not had the first one come out of the woods yet, you know. Not had the first one come out. So, I mean, these guys, you know, that's the way it's going to be, I'm sure. It's going to take them a few laps to figure it out, which way is going to be the best way and stuff like that. And then, of course, you know, hopefully nobody breaks or tears up.
You know, Cade Rod was out in the lead, but Casey Gilbert, this kind of racetrack really makes him shine. So I'm expecting to see a lot of battles out front. The Von Gittin Jr. car. The Von Gittin Jr. car, is driven by Eric Davis with Lee O'Donnell riding shotgun.
There he goes.
They'll be doing pretty good.
He's turning right. Okay, looks like Cody's figured out he's just going to turn right, take a little bit more time, just go around it. Go around that hill. You don't have to go up the hill. You can go around. Like I said, there's a couple different ways you can do this. There's the fastest way. You're going to try to shoot the hill or turn right and go around. I mean, that might be a better option, but he's going to figure it out one way or the other. I can assure you that.
So we are hot and heavy for the EMC race here for the 2018 KMC Wheels Battle in the Bluegrass. We're hoping to ride around 2:30 to kick off the Kids Cup, but be sure to tune in all day long. Ultra4racing.com/live, because at right around 3:30, the big boys, the biggest name in the sport, unlimited horsepower, unlimited tires, unlimited suspension. These guys are the fast ones. That's why we're here. That is going to be a blast to watch. That's when I just get amped up. I will apologize ahead of time. I get too excited from time to time. I'm first off a fan. I just talk on this thing all day just because it works out for everybody, but it's a lot of fun to be able to watch the big boys race.
So it looks like St. Clair there, he's just going to figure out a whole different strategy on all of this. Their mind, look, I mean, you can see the co-pilot right now. Great footage right there. You can see the co-pilot just tell him, it's like, you know what, just hit it, wide open, go to the left or whatever. I mean, the guys are going to figure it out, that's for sure. It's just tough. It's just tough. The mud changes everything, and loose rocks, the slate, stuff like that, it just changes it all.
And be sure to keep tuned in all day long because right around 8 o'clock, rain or shine, the SRRS Bouncer guys we're doing a shootout this evening. The Big O dealership is sponsoring that shootout. They threw in $7,500 for the fastest guy to the top. Is going to be crowd favorite Tim Cameron. Is it going to be one of our Ultra 4 guys? Time will tell. It's going to be very interesting tonight. So like I said, we have action all day long. Be sure to stay tuned in. We will log on and off Facebook between each races. So be sure to keep tuned into that or go to ultra4racing.com/live.
Did you say $7,400?
$7,500.
$7,500.
It's a lot of money on the line.
Wow, $7,500. Hey, Miles, I believe it's somebody's birthday today also, isn't it? It's somebody's birthday that you know of?
Yeah, if you see Will around, he's one of the right-hand mans to Dirty Turtle Off-Road Park. Happy birthday, Will.
Happy birthday. We won't wish him a happy birthday, but happy birthday. Sing happy birthday. We'll let his famous wife, Scotty, sing for him. Oh, she's gonna, okay. So online, if you want to, you can wish him a happy birthday. It'd be kind of neat. Will kind of like that. Will and Scotty, they put a lot of time out here. They live out here. They work out here. I mean, it's like eat, sleep this all day long, every day, 7 days a week, 365 a year. I mean, it's just ongoing, and they love it. Really enjoy it. Great team.
This is our third and final race for the Four Wheel Parts Eastern Regional Series. So this will get us all set up for the Nitto National Championship for that. But the next race will be our third and final race for the LaserNut Western Series. That'll be in Ridgecrest, California, August 11th and 12th. So be sure to tune in for that. The Nitto National Championship is held in Reno, Nevada at the Wild West Motorsports Park. That is October 20th and 21st. Do not miss that one. If you can plan ahead right now and head on out there, it's a great spectator, fan-friendly place to go. It's a great race to watch. We do the banquet at the Nugget Casino afterwards. It's a great weekend. And while you're there, go check out Reno Tahoe. And speaking of Reno Tahoe, we're going to give here we go. What did I call it? I believe that's Casey Gilbert. I told you he'd be flying through here. So our physical guy out front is going to be Casey Gilbert with a 17-minute flat run, and he had to pass quite a few guys. So Casey Gilbert took off in 6th position. Vaughn Gitten's car driven by Eric Davis and Lee O'Donnell right behind him. And then Dustin Friesen, I believe, yes, and his Trent Fab machine. Wow, we got a race on our hands. Less than 30 seconds splits the top three. And 4th through here is going to be Jody Ford's jumped his way up. He started in 7th position. We got a race on our hands, Tim.
Okay, he's running with a right rear flat too. He's got a right rear flat. The last one just come through.
He does have a co-driver. He does have a spare tire. We'll see when he decides to change that. But you are right, Tim. Right rear flat for Jody Ford. So physical on course, Casey Gilbert, Vaughn Gittin Jr., Dustin Friesen, and Jody Ford. Once a year you can have a fill-in driver. So Vaughn Gittin Jr. let his normal co-driver, Eric Davis, hop in the driver's seat. I was talking to him this morning. He qualified well. I was like, so how much seat time do you actually have driving this car? He said during qualifying was the first time he drove it. So he's ridden in it. He knows what it can do. He's doing extremely well. So Eric Davis driving the wheels off for Vaughn Gittin Jr. So we just see Casey Gilbert and Vaughn Gitten's car heading into the Monster Energy Woods section. Dustin Friesen in his Trip Fab machine, gonna dive on into the Monster Energy Woods section. Jody Ford has a right rear flat. We'll see where he decides to change that. Is he gonna push it and wait to the hot pits, pull over somewhere? We'll see. Just through here, the number 866 of Sean Reisky.
I know a lot of people can't hear that, Miles, but man, when they come up over these hills and stuff, over these whoops and jumps and stuff, man, they are just bottoming out the suspension. These guys, I mean, they're taking no prisoners, you know what I mean? They're just like on it.
That brings up a great point. I was talking to Levi Shirley this morning. He was cleaning up his car. He was the fastest car of the day yesterday. He got that KMC hard charger spot. He was knocking off a little bit of wood or a little bit of mud off his car, and he's like, I'm thinking about switching to my my desert shocks because he's got a heavier spring rate because he knows there's going to be so much mud on the back of the car, it's going to be a lot heavier. So he's trying to decide if he was going to switch shocks. I'm not sure if he's done that yet today, but that's a great strategy to think about because all this mud weighs a ton and really goose up that suspension.
Yeah, I would definitely say there's probably about 50 to 100, couple hundred pounds worth of mud.
And it sounds like I'm getting a little bit of race stop information through my PCI radio. At the bottom of Hillbilly Stomp, there is an issue. There's a bottleneck. So JT Taylor is there on site. They're going to do a little bit of bypass. That won't be the normal course if the bottleneck fixes itself, but they will send the fast guys around that to keep them racing because we do not want to bottleneck the fast guys, make them sit there. So we're going to try to keep them at race pace. So lots of action back in the woods. There's Jody Ford with that right rear low tire, it looks like. He's still pushing through. We'll see if he can make it to the hot pits. He's the one that gave me that sight lap in his UTV on Thursday. Jody Ford was very excited to push hard today.
You were excited on that, wasn't you? That was a lot of fun.
That was a great ride, and I love being able to see the track because once they disappear in the woods, all we're talking about is like, hey, they're in the woods. No, they're in some tight trees. There's some steep hills. There's some off-camber spots. There's some spots where if you don't hit it just right, you're going to slide off into the side. There's a lot of tricky spots back there, so it was really cool to physically take a lap and see how hard this course really is.
I know you used to race also too, didn't you, Miles?
Yeah, I still race a UTV series back home in Kansas City, the KCORRA, and I'm fresh off a win just a couple weeks ago. So racing's definitely in my blood. I love it, and since I can't race this series, I'm glad to be a part and be able to make every race and bring you guys the action.
Well, congratulations on your win there. We appreciate that. I'll tell you. So when you got out of his buggy there, did you sit there thinking about, well, you know what? Maybe I just need to step up a little bit, maybe a little more money, and maybe build something different?
I would love to, but time and money, that's always the big game.
That's right.
I see the 4510 Matt Howell and Adam Shear, Tribe 16 coming through. So I believe that should put him right around the third place in his class, the 4500 Rubicon Express modified class. We still have Casey Gilbert, our physical leader. Remember, they left in 20-second increments, so this is a corrected time race. Looks like Matt Howell has a left rear flat, so tires are getting killed out on course. And remember, we do not run tire balls anymore, so these guys are going to have to push through. It doesn't look like Matt Howell has a spare, so he's going to have to push all the way to the hot pits, which is most of the wood section. Be very interesting. And that is Matt Howell on screen. And like I said, you can grab a great view. That left rear is completely flat. He does have a spare tire back there. I was mistaken. Sorry about that. We'll see what kind of game plan they have. See if their spotters have told him that. I'm sure he can tell by the way it's driving. It's a little squirrely. He's got a low tire. He's won the national championship, I believe, the last 2 years. So Matt Howell's extremely fun to watch. He's a great competitor. He takes a lot of time in race prep and strategy. He really is proven to be a fast guy in our sport. Right behind him, who left in second position, Jonathan Terhune. So he's lost a little bit of time. He's been passed by 5 or 6 people, I'd say, but Jonathan Terhune still moving. He's a part of Team Indiana, so he's used to this mud and tight wood section. I was giving him a little bit of grief this morning because after qualifying yesterday, he parked it, and it looked like a muddy mess when we got here this morning. He's like, after the first lap, it's going to look like this anyways. I'll wipe off my number plates and take on out.
That's right. Yeah, there were a lot of guys out there this morning. Mills, you were right. It was out there washing their buggies this morning. I'm like, you know what? It's going to be muddier than heck. But I guess it's a good idea to wash them, get them cleaned off so you can kind of check it, make sure everything looks the way it's supposed to look, and everything's tight and stuff.
So coming out of the Steelett Woods exit was Sean Rance Sr., the 4531. His car looked like it was still in great shape. He's still pushing hard. This is a 6-lap race on just shy of a 4-mile course. Casey Gilbert with the fast time of 17 flat. He was almost 13 seconds faster than Jody Ford. Just coming through, number 26, Dwayne Garrettson. Again, I'm Miles Hasselquist alongside Tim Smith. We'll be with you guys all weekend long. This is the 2018 KMC Wheels Battle in the BlueGrass. We're just outside of Bedford, Kentucky at the Dirty Turtle Off-Road Park. We're in the spotter stand. We have a great view of the entire short course. This is a fun race. Remember, this is the 4600 Pro Comp Stock class, the 4500 Rubicon Express Modified class, and the 4800 G2 Legends class. Yeah, Matt Howe still has that low tire on the back. You're right, Tim. He's going to be battling that. He does have a spare. Depends on, we'll see if he changes that or not. And there's Rick Levesque blowing through that corner a little wide. Part of Jack Racing and his Bomber chassis, running those Nitto tires. This is his first year racing with us. He teamed up with Jimmy Jack, and they've came out in full force. They send their truck and trailer out. It's a kick. Their trailer's really cool. They set up really nice, and they fly out and come out to party.
You were talking about a lot of that mud sticking on them and stuff. They come up over this Holly EFI jump right here, and when they come down, Miles, you can look over there, about 50 to 100 pounds of that mud just bounces off and just rolls around.
Yeah, getting a little bit of air right there definitely helps to get that hard landing and knock some of that loose mud off there.
That's right.
So on screen, that's Rick Levesque and his Bomber chassis. The car still looks to be in great shape. He's hitting that savvy off-road roller into the Dirty Turtle Whoop section.
This track has really dried up a lot, Miles, that's for sure. It's really drying up pretty nice. But I tell you what, they've got to stay on the track here. But if they get off this little, they got like a little roadway going around. I don't know if y'all can see it, ladies and gentlemen, or not. But they get off of it a little bit. And there's a lot of deep ruts off to the outside of the corners and stuff like that. Once you get off that, then they're going to be stuck trying to fight it to get back on. We just had one do that just a minute ago. But the track's looking pretty tacky. It's drying up a little bit. There's definitely no dust in sight, that's for sure. And it looks like that. Looks like the rain clouds are maybe moving out a little while. So. Miles, you're doing a good job on the weather so far. You just gave us a little sprinkle to tease us a little bit, so you're doing a good job. Might become a meteorologist before it's over with. You're doing a good job. Okay, right here on screen, you can see right there that they're looking around and trying to pick out the different ways to go up it. So I guess they did change the course a little bit to help them out, I guess.
Looks like it may have been the 26th of Dwayne Garrettson. Still cruising on through there. And talking about the weather, I just pulled up the radar once again. There's lots of small little rain showers out there, so it's going to be completely luck if we get hit or not, but so far it's looking good. Coming through just now is Bob Wimmer, the 4864.
Got 2 of them coming in.
So we have over 10 cars out on their second lap. Casey Gilbert out front. We have our first stock class, the 4620 of Ken Carter, and then the 4573 of Rob Matzell. So Albert Contreras, our KMC hard charger in the Pro Comp stock class, has been passed. There's the Daystar sponsored rig of John Grounds. He comes all the way from the West Coast, driving his Jeep TJ.
Did you hear him, Miles? He kicked it in passing gear. I haven't heard that in a while on a racing buggy.
So Rob Matzell gets around Ken Carter in the Dirty Turtle short course right at the RCV turn. That's right where John Grounds is as we speak. But on course, it looks like Rick Levezzo cruising through. And that may be where they're doing that little bit of bypass. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I haven't.
Your guess is good as mine?
I've not figured out the bypass on there yet either. But evidently it's making it better because they're definitely coming out now a lot faster.
And this morning in the driver's meeting, I heard JT say that exact same. He was a little bit worried that there's 3 or 4 lines, but with as muddy as it is, there's a couple lines that may not be doable. So if somebody gets up, gets crossed up, or does a rollover, he will block that off, do a short redirect, and keep the fast guys going fast. So that's great to see, because that's even for safety, for race camaraderie. So
that's
great
right.
job by race director JT Taylor. That guy is busy.
I guarantee it.
So that's Ken Carter on scene in his Jeep Cherokee. He is our only 4600 Pro Comp stock class on their second lap. This is a 6-lap race on corrected time. And just looking out in the infield, everything's starting to dry up pretty well. So this could be setting up for a great race. We'll see if the rain holds off or not. But hey, this is unlimited racing. We're going to do it.
That's right.
I see another bouncer rolling in for tonight's SRRS shootout. The Big O dealership threw out $7,500. Looks like that was our next stock class, Christopher Doria. So the woods section is proving to be tough. It's going to be a long day for some of these guys. And remember, I was talking about Casey Gilbert that is physically in the lead right now. If he can keep his car together, he is qualified to run the 4400 class as well. Could that be Bob Wimmer? I'm not sure who's coming through here. We'll wait till he crosses the line. That's Jesse Oliver, my mistake. 4517 Jesse Oliver heading out for lap 2 of 6. Heading into MBRP corner as we speak. Jesse Oliver still looking smooth. The 8100 is at Mike DeVore. Yes, it is. So we've got a lot of action in the Dirty Turtle short course as we speak.
I know, Miles, you was talking a while ago, like we've got 3 races going on right now. We got 3 different class races, and they're all running at one time. Everybody's busy. Everybody's trying to figure out what's going on and which course to take and stuff like that. I know there's probably a lot of people just tuned in, or people that maybe it's their first time they've ever watched this online. Like, how in the world do you all keep track of, you know, like who's in first, who's in second on this race, what this race? I mean, what's this buggy here? Who's racing it? I mean, tell them about the transponders. Tell them how that works a little bit.
Yeah, every car has a transponder on there, so every time they cross the KMC wheels start-finish line, it dings and gives us a time to see who's who. But yeah, just like you said, there's 3 races at once, so we just kind of do our best to try to figure out who's where and who's what. But there again, strategy. They've got their spotters up here. Hey, you're running good. Well, I see a couple cars ahead of me. They're not in your class. Don't push and make a mistake. Or hey, that guy is in your class. Push up there, try to pass him, because there's not much passing in the woods. So in the short course, give it all you got, throw it into the corner and see what happens. But we do have the 4600 Pro Comp stock class, the 4500 Rubicon Express modified class, and the 4800 G2 Legends class, all racing at the same time.
And that does make, that's a great advantage having the spotters up there. And a lot of people at home right now, they can't see that. They can't see, like, we're up here at our announcer tower, and we got a big deck up here that we're standing on. And we have all these people up here with radios, headsets. I mean, this is nothing that, we're just kind of standing out here looking through a plate glass, just kind of trying to call the race, looking at the video cameras and stuff, because there's people up here, like you said, telling them, don't pass them, you got a flat tire or whatever. This is nothing but by far of a little race. This is, almost like the NASCAR, except we have mud, no asphalt here.
Yeah, this is my style of racing. I absolutely love it. So everybody that's on site, get on your smartphone, ultra4racing.com/live. Hit up our King of the Hammers Facebook, Ultra4 Facebook. Hit up the Instagram, do the hashtags. This is the 2018 KMC Wheels Battle in the BlueGrass. We're just outside of Bedford, Kentucky at the Dirty Turtle Off-Road Park. We are hot and heavy in the EMC race. We had the 4900 Can-Am UTV race this morning. We had some great action there, and we've got a lot of action right now. This is a 6-lap race. They left in 20-second increments. It's on adjusted time, so we'll see what kind of time Casey Gilbert can put on the next few guys. But Casey Gilbert started, what did he start in, 5th or 6th? 6th position is in physically in first. We passed 5 guys in the first lap. Casey Gilbert is fast in that Miller Motorsports chassis.
The next race coming up, we've got a lot of great racing coming up throughout today. And like you said, an awesome race coming up later this evening. And I think depending on how the track is and how the weather goes out, as far as the kids race coming up, driving those 170 little Razors and stuff, that's going to be pretty exciting. They're just 2-wheel drives, and hopefully it's dry enough for everybody to be able to watch that too, whether you're here or online. But I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if you got a chance, you don't live too far, come on down. We got plenty of room to stand. I mean, there's plenty of watching room out here for sure. And come on down and enjoy it with us, because there's nothing like being here live. We appreciate you watching it live on screen, but if you could be here, it's a lot of fun.
Again, I'm Miles Hasselquist along Tim Smith. We'll be with you all weekend long. I'll be with you all season long. The Ultra 4 Series has been a lot of fun. This racing is absolutely awesome. So with Casey Gilbert's first lap right around that 17-minute mark, I assume as long as there's not too many bottlenecks out there, we'll see him very shortly. But there's a lot of cars we have not seen on course. Let's see, we got probably 15 that are out on their second lap, so we've lost about 10 cars still out there. They're lap traffic. Are they broke? There's a lot of action out in those woods. I can hear a lot of jabber up here in the spotter tower from those PCI radios, keeping everybody informed.
Yeah, everybody's trying to figure out different strategy and how to get around when, to get going, because they're bottlenecking in different areas where one guy's having a problem going up the hill. I mean, there's a lot of areas that you can't pass on this course. You just cannot pass. There's no way, shape, or form that you can pass anybody. So they're just trying to figure out a way to make this work and to make it happen as safely as possible, that's for sure. Okay, we got something coming out of the woods now, coming in hot.
And Tim, that is Casey Gilbert, our physical leader. We'll see what kind of time he's got. He is all over the throttle. That was almost a 20-minute run, so we must have had some lap traffic out there. But Casey Gilbert physically out front, lots of action. And that's Sean Reisky really hot on his tail, 15 seconds behind him. This is a race we have on our hands. Lots of action going on. The spotter tower's busy. I got David Hartman here with me. K-Rod started first. We haven't seen him yet. What's going on? You got any information?
We have no update as of now, but we just know he hasn't made it back through. We're guessing he's probably why they're bypassing stuff.
So he could possibly be our issue at Hillbilly Stomp. We don't know. The communication's great, but we are on the side of a mountain, so haven't heard anything. Tough break. He was absolutely flying in qualifying, and tough break for K-Rod, but hopefully see him back here and through the KMC start-finish here shortly.
Yep, let's hope.
Well, at least he's out there racing. A few of our other guys didn't get their car out to go racing, but I'm glad to see Kate out there racing with us.
Yep, I deserve that one. Thank you very much.
So lots of action coming into the short course as we speak. We have a couple more cars. That looks to be Jody Ford. We had Michael Justo finishing his first lap. Jody Ford out on his third lap. So physically on course, it's Casey Gilbert, Sean Reisky, and Jody Ford. Jody's going to be very excited. He had a tire issue on the rear. It looks like he got it fixed. He's back in action. Jody Ford, part of Team Brannick. Like I said, he's the one that gave me that sight lap on Thursday in his UTV. He was excited about this race, and he's looking good.
You know, since he gave you that sight lap, he probably would have expected you to come out and help him change that tire, just saying. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what, if you just join with us, we really appreciate it. We're coming through you live here from Dirty Turtle Off-Road Park in Bedford, Kentucky with the Ultra 4 racing today. We really appreciate everybody coming down and watching us. We definitely appreciate it. This is an exciting race. Racing all day. We started early this morning. We'll be here until late this evening. A lot of good racing. A lot of fans here today. Be sure and stay tuned on Facebook or however you're watching us the rest of the day for all the events, and be sure and share it and like it. Let us know what you're thinking about, what we can do better. We'll do our best.
It's a lot of fun being up here with the spotters. You hear a lot of chit chat. They're keeping their drivers informed, giving them their lap count, giving them their time. Push harder, slow down. Jody Ford's going to get around one more stock class before he heads into the Monster Energy Wood entrance. So that's a good luck for Jody Ford. Coming out of the woods is Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s car, driven by Eric Davis, co-driver Lee O'Donnell. And like I said, I've said it before, check out Lee O'Donnell on Facebook. He's the Monster Jam guy that did the double backflip. So he's all about Ultra 4. He's kind of fading out of Monster Truck and hoping to get into Ultra 4. He just bought a UTV from R.J. Anderson. Albert Contreras brought that out for him, so he's going to drive that for a couple years, let his daughter ride shotgun with him, and if everything goes smooth, he's hoping to throw her in the driver's seat and step up to the 4400 class. So that'd be cool to see Lee O'Donnell, transform from Monster Truck to Ultra 4. And that exact car that Eric Davis is driving now, Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s Brocky, you can find that at Walmart. It's a remote control car. I bought that for my kids. They absolutely love it. There is Albert Contreras coming through, finally finishing his first lap. So he must have had a little bit of issue going on out there. So he's a little bit off pace. He's roughly 5 minutes behind Michael Justo. So he's sitting in that third place position. All 4 tires holding up in that Jeep TJ. Albert Contreras still pushing hard. He was our KMC pole sitter for the 4600 Pro Comp stock class.
Hey Miles, we got some updates here on what's going on. Remember, this is a total time race, so I just kind of looked over at the scoring clock here, and we thought, Casey Gilbert, he's killing it out there, and he is. But Casey started in 6th, and then Sean Reisky started in 9th. So they started about a minute apart, right? That's what we're looking at. They started about a minute apart, and they came through here, last time through, about 11 seconds apart, which on total time actually put Sean Reisky ahead of Casey Gilbert. On corrected time, Sean Reisky is actually our leader at the moment. I just wanted to share that with you because that's kind of fun. Because Casey's running a perfect season. That hasn't happened. I'm not sure for 4800. I mean, he's gotten every pole, so he didn't get the pole here. So he's already lost that 1,007 points that he's gotten at the last 2 races. So we'll see how this goes out today. But right now, Sean Reisky is actually ahead of Casey Gilbert. So that's going to be fun to watch.
That's what makes some of these races so much fun, is that corrected time, because you never know. It's a race all the way to the finish. This corrected time's a lot of fun. So Sean Reisky on corrected time is beating Casey Gilbert for right around a minute. But Casey Gilbert's pushing hard. It'll be very interesting. Looks like the 207 of Jim Widmeyer just crossed the line in his Trent Fab machine. Looking good, looking smooth. Jim Widmar's pulling off course. Not sure what's going on with him. That should be Sean Rance Sr. coming through the 45-31.
It just goes to show you, Miles, how things could change, on this course. I mean, it's everybody's game, the way this course is set up. And with the conditions, it's like everybody's game right here.
And we were just talking about Casey Gilbert just moments ago. If his car's still together, he'll be racing with us at 3:30 for the 4400 class as well. So it'll be interesting to see. His points matter in this race. He's just racing the 4400s just for fun. But that Miller Motorsports chassis he's driving is a competitive machine, and I'm sure he'll still do well. This is, again, another great pre-run for him in this race for this afternoon's race. We'll see if he can mix it up with the big boys. So we got some great strategies going on. We hear some chatter through the PCI radios up here on the spotter tower. And that was Jonathan Terhune, I believe, just came through missing his hood. So we had something going on out there, but he's still running strong. We were just talking, or I was listening to Casey Gilbert's spotter, trying to figure out the corrected time. But it sounds like the little bottleneck they had out there is cleared. So Casey Gilbert, I expect to really turn it on because he's physically in the lead, but on corrected time in second. So we'll see how hard Casey Gilbert turns it on this lap. He doesn't really know how to slow down, so I'm sure Casey Gilbert's going to be all over the throttle on this lap. Here comes Rick Levesque, I believe. So he's having a really good run. He's in that top 10 right now, it looks like, roughly. Remember, we do have 3 races going on all at the same time. Looks like that might be the 26th of Dwayne Garrettson. And it is. Heading out on his 3rd lap, just shy of halfway through this race. This is a 6-lap race on corrected time. This is the 2018 KMC Wheels Battle in the BlueGrass. We're just outside of Bedford, Kentucky at Dirty Turtle Off-Road Park. We've had a lot of rain this weekend, but so far today it's been picture perfect, a little bit of wind. It rained a lot overnight. The track was wet, but it's really starting to tack up. There's still water holes out there. The woods are still slick, but this is no dust. And I've heard lots of people say they'd rather have the wet, no dust. So they got exactly what a few of those guys asked for. But there is rain in the area. We're definitely doing our no rain dance up here to keep a fun and fast race course. But this is unlimited racing, so the show must go on. Dwayne Garrison just sends it over the Savvy roller into the Dirty Turtle rhythm section. After he came through there, he kind of got a little crossed up, checked up, and back on the throttle. Looks like Rick Levesque's getting ready to dive back into the Monster Energy Woods entrance. So on screen is Dwayne Garrettson, finishing up the Dirty Turtle short course, heading into the Monster Energy Woods section.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, right now you're seeing the off-road course back in the woods there. And I'm not for sure who we got. Who is that right there? Jonathan Terhune right there. And you'll see what strategy he's got going up the hill there. Look like they're all going to the outside. And I know they did change the course a little bit because they had to do something. It was causing too much of a problem in the bottlenecking in the back. So it's looking a lot better. Definitely got some speed. Going up that hill to the far left and turning right. Looks like he's got a hairpin turn to the left. Really helping him out, making a big difference there and getting up these hills and coming back out here on the track. All right, sound like we got one coming out right now. Just come out of the woods course. Bob Weimer right there is coming out, doing a good job today. Like Miles was talking about earlier, I mean, the weather's holding out for us. When we got the wind has really picked up in the last 5 or 10 minutes, which that'll help the track a lot, drying it up. I don't believe we're going to see any dust today at all, but the track's definitely getting tackier, and the boys are picking up a little more time. And them changing the woods course around just a little bit to make it a little safer and kind of holding down on the bottleneck has really helped out a bunch also. And if you're just now tuning in, thank you for tuning in. down here at Dirty Turtle Off-Road Park in Bedford, Kentucky. The Ultra 4 racing today, all-day racing. Okay, just had Ken Carter come over and just come out of the woods right there. Ken's been doing a good job today. Completed his second lap. Driving the Cherokee Sport. Yeah, we was just talking about the Jeep Cherokee Sport there, the two-door. I think he just got off his mail route just about 20 minutes ago before he pulled in on the race, so he's doing a good job today. He's out here having a lot of fun. He's not much on the suspension, but like you were talking about a while ago, they're only allowed to do so much in each one of these classes.
Yeah, the 4600 Pro Comp stock class has to have a stock OEM frame, stock motor, stock transmission, maximum of a 35-inch DOT tire, and mechanical steering. And the right-hand lady right here, Shannon Welch, she's always got the info. What do we got, Shannon?
Hey, Miles, we're hearing over our PCI radios that there's a couple of cars that are struggling with that hill climb. Hearing Jimmy Jack in particular might be having some issue. And so there's a couple of cars stopped behind them. You know, if you're watching at home right now, I'm seeing some stuff out there like, hey, show us the woods, show us the woods. We do have cameras in the woods, but we don't have every inch of this covered. It's a little hard to do, and we are trying to get you footage, but you'll see them panning out there. They're panning, looking for where those cars are, but we're all wondering where are the cars, and you can hear that radio in the background. They are out there trying to figure out what's going on with that hill climb, but we knew that was going to be an issue with the rain that we had, and we've got a lot of West Coast guys that made it to the East Coast. Welcome to the mud, and this is not like California mud, that's for sure.
Thank you again, Shannon Welch. Always has the good info. She's a busy lady. She's got 13 jobs to do, but she still helps us out here. And she was just talking about Jimmy Jack struggling out there. He's got his fiance in there, Amy, being his co-driver. How tough would that be when you're having issues and you're sitting there talking to your lady friend? They seem to have a good time with it, but it could get frustrating from time to time.
That's right. And I guess they figure too, Miles, I guess they figure, you know, being the fiance and stuff, if they make it through the race season and she's still a fiance, then you know what? Well, it might be a perfect couple.
That's relationship building 101 at its finest for sure.
Could you imagine the conversation though? You know, I mean, just think about it. Like, look, we can race all summer long. You can tell me to go right, left, jump, but we can't make a decision on where to go eat at.
That depends on the day. I know that feeling all so well. The number 8100 Mike DeFore just came through, and Cade Rod is back in action. The 4807 Team Jimmy's. He just finished his first lap. He was the first one to head out. Never came back through. I'm not sure what happened. The car still looks like it's in good shape, but he is over a lap down, so tough break for him, but I'm glad to see him back on course.
Well, Miles, I mean, it looked like from the very beginning, up into the first lap, it looked like a lot of the guys was just having a problem trying to figure out where to go, what side of the hill to go on, right side, left side. I mean, it was just a huge deal.
And I've got one of our crowd favorites here, JP Gomez. You and your brothers are out there. You guys are a lot of fun to watch. You guys have the balls out style racing, and you guys like to give each other grief. How fun is it out there? And I assume you guys are on the same channel, so you can say, hey, get out of my way, old brother.
Oh, yeah, man. We talk smack to each other the whole time. My brother sang a little Eye of the Tiger before he did qualifying yesterday. So, you know, we try to make the best of it. So it's awesome out there.
Well, we love seeing you guys. You guys are all three in the UFO Joe Thompson built single-seat IFS machines. Marcos has IRS, but other than that, they're identical. You guys drive them hard. Your crew, you got an amazing crew, gets them back together. Like I said, crowd favorite, the Gomez brothers. Glad to see you out here on the East Coast with us. Thank you.
Thanks. That's why we're entering the shootout tonight too.
All three of you are going to enter it and see what happens? Who's not going to enter it?
Probably roll, but we'll see if our cars are together.
Hey, time will tell. Good luck. Good seeing you. Thanks again, JP. So we have lots of action coming through right now. Sean Reisky and Casey Gilbert, I mean, neck and neck in the short course. So the split times between Sean Reisky and Casey Gilbert is 15 seconds. So on corrected time, it still is Sean Reisky, but Casey Gilbert has gained like 3 minutes on that lap. Jody Ford just came through. So physically on course, remember, corrected time will come in factor later. Physically on course, Sean Reisky, Casey Gilbert, Jody Ford. Jody is having one heck of a run out there. It sounds like that bottleneck we were having issues at earlier got cleared up. The course is clear. Lots of fast time. So yes, it looks like Sean Reisky has 15 seconds over Gilbert. And then less than 1 second splitting Gilbert and Jody Ford. And remember, Casey Gilbert's normally fast, so Jody Ford's really turning up and making a great run. I believe Jody Ford had a change of tires, so he's having a great run, part of Team Brannick. Again, I'll say it again, he gave me a sight lap in his UTV on Thursday, and Jody Ford really picked some good lines. I'm a driver myself, and it was extremely muddy, and there's a couple times I'm thinking, I'm not sure if we have this, and he just went right up. We never even got stuck. I hear Casey Gilbert all over the horn entering the Monster Energy Wood entrance. Looks like he may be fighting a little bit of lap traffic. I couldn't tell who it was, but on course, Sean Reisky, Casey Gilbert, Jody Ford, 1, 2, 3. Right behind him, the 4510, Matt Howell, part of Tribe 16, with Adam Shear riding shotgun. He is a lap down. He had tire issues earlier as well. So Sean Reisky, Casey Gilbert, Jody Ford, halfway through this race. That looks like John Grounds. No, sorry, that was Jeremy Purick and Rob Matzell, both coming through, finishing their second lap. We got a race in here. We have Michael London finishing his first. Vaughn. So coming over the start line finish, looked like Vaughn Gitten's car, driven by Eric Davis, went for the pass, got a little bit mixed up, but Eric Davis got around him. Eric Davis, Lee O'Donnell, and Vaughn Gitten's car still pushing hard. The car is usually blue, but it's brown as all can get out. Still looking good, looking smooth. Eric Davis running a smooth race. There goes Cody St. Clair coming through. He's just finishing his first lap. We saw him having issues. Boy, we have action in here, don't we, Tim?
Miles, I'll tell you what, I don't know if you got to see that or not, but I'll tell you, man, they've come over here, come out of the woods, and them two guys are fighting all around the corner, bumping a little bit of tires here and there, crossing in front of each other. I mean, the whole time, it was exciting. I mean, all the way down to the corner, those two guys are really just fighting to get up on the other side, that's for sure. Definitely a ton of excitement out here on the short track. It's drying up a little bit. The guys are getting through the course much better now because they've got it figured out and getting it lined out. They only got a few more laps in here to go. I mean, so you know what I mean? The excitement is yet to come.
So physically on course, that does put Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s car physically fourth on course, so they're having a great run. I hear some sirens out there. Eric Davis trying to get around before they hit in the woods because there's not much passing. Gives him the horn. He does the gentleman's thing, pulls over, lets him get around. Rob Matzell gets around too. There's a lot of action getting ready to head into the Monster Energy Rock section. And didn't quite see. I'm sure his mirrors are completely covered. He waited, let a couple guys around, accidentally pulled out in front of Cody St. Clair, and that may have been Michael London, not sure. But boy, there's some action here in today's race. Again, if you're tuning in here on site or back home, thank you. Ultra4racing.com/live. Hit the King of the Hammers Facebook, hit the Instagrams, do the hashtags, hit that share button. This is the 2018 KMC Wheels Battle in the Bluegrass. We're just outside of Bedford, Kentucky at the Dirty Turtle Off-Road Park. The rain has held off thus far today. We've got a great race on our hands, Tim.
Yeah, they're doing a lot more now miles out there on the off-road track. A lot of them taking the little shortcuts there. I mean, just cutting up the hills, so they're getting it down pat. I mean, they've got it. This change of the track a little bit there. I believe last time we really got it going.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, and I believe that was Bob Wimmer on screen being chased. There's a lot of action in these. Like I said, there's a lot of single track. Now, if the course is dry, there's multiple hill climbs that have 3 or 4 lines. But with it as wet as it is, there's only about 1 line up most of them. So there's not a whole lot of passing in the woods. But Casey Gilbert's been running great. Sean Reisky is physically out front. Jody Ford's got a good run. We've got a race on our hands.
And that's where you get all your bottlenecking and stuff too. I mean, like we were talking about, you only got 1 line to get. That's tough to do. So now these guys are getting pretty excited. They know they've only got a few more laps to go, and it is drying up a little bit and getting a little more tackier. And the guys are just trying all the hills they can possibly get up the hills, as far as the shortcuts go and things. So.
And that's a great view on screen. That was Mike DeVore showing you how slick this is. Just before that, we saw Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s car driven by Eric Davis having to back up. I'm not sure if he took a bad line or got crossed up or whatnot, but these hills are slick. We are hoping to run the 170 Kids Cup after this race. That'll be a lot of fun to watch. The dads will be out up here spotting for the kids in the short course. And then at 3:30, weather pending, we should be right on time for the 4,400 Unlimited race. Again, this is the 3rd and final race of the 4 Wheel Parts Eastern Series. Up next will be the 3rd and final race for the Laser Nut Western Series race. That'll be August 11th and 12th at the Ridgecrest OHV area. And that takes us into the Nitto National Championship just outside of Reno, Nevada, October 20th and 21st at the Wild West Motorsports Park. If you have the time to take off, make that race in person. It's an absolute awesome race to watch. But if you can, ultra4racing.com/live has you covered.
Well, the kids race coming up, Miles, that's the 170s. So those are all 2-wheel drives and stuff. So it's gonna, I mean, I guess they're going to kind of drive the track a little bit and kind of make that determination. They'll do that.
Coming through here is Rick Levezzo, part of Jack Racing. He's heading out on his fourth lap. Rick's having a great race. This is his first season with us. He's racing a Jimmy's car for now. He's getting another car built, I do believe. And coming through hot and heavy was the 4531 of Sean Rance Sr. Number 890, Jonathan Terhune, part of Team Brannick out of Indiana. Still missing his hood, but making some pretty decent time. He's put a pretty good beating on the front end of that car. He's hit multiple rocks, multiple trees. He's scabbed it together, but it's good to see him out here racing. Looks like Jonathan Terhune is just off that top 10 pace, but he's doing great, looking good, looking pretty smooth in these wood sections. And that is Jonathan Terhune on screen in the Dirty Turtle short course, hitting that savvy off-road roller, heading in the Dirty Turtle whoop section. Coming through next, the 4570 of John Grounds. Daystar powered Jeep. He's another guy that came from the West Coast. Great to see him out here. We got the 4659. That is Michael Justo heading out for his 3rd lap. He's finished 2. There comes the number 26, Dwayne Garrettson, with his Nitto tires still looking good, looking smooth. We do have 3 races going on all at the same time. We have the 4600 Pro Comp stock class. the 4500 Rubicon Express Modified class, and the 4800 G2 Legends class. Lots of action, Tim.
You know, Miles, we was talking about that, having fun and get out here playing around this mud. I mean, you know, there's a lot of guys out here. It's in it to win it. I mean, they're real serious about it. And then a few minutes ago, we had somebody over hollering and screaming and stuff. And I tried to look, and I asked the guys up there spotting. I said, "What the heck was going on?" And they said, "Man, those guys in that Jeep Cherokee, or the Jeep, the CJ, come up over that little hoop there, and they were all just hollering and screaming, and had their arms hanging out. I mean, just having a good time." So, you know, there's a lot of guys out here that's not in it to win it. They're out here having a good time. They're enjoying the course. You know, they're having fun. So, they're not serious yet. You know what I mean? They haven't gotten hooked yet. They haven't got that fever yet. But they've got enough to be out here racing just because they just enjoy racing. You know.
But here again with the track conditions, some of these guys' strategies is not to win; it's to finish.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, one of my sayings: to finish first you must finish. And this course has taken out a lot of people.
Yeah, it has, and we talked about this morning, even this morning races. And I'm going to say that I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's going to be without the race, through the races throughout the day. The races coming up, and that's what it's going to be. It's not going to be who's got the fastest, who's got the best, who put the fastest tires on today. The proper tires, which everything has a little bit to hinge on the racing, but it's about the strategy and good luck and picking the right line and hope you can keep together but don't have a flat tire. This is so many different things because we're sitting there right now watching. This race here, we're almost down on our laps and stuff. We still got guys that are trying different hills. It's just like, it's unbelievable.
That's such a great shot of Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s car, driven by Eric Davis, co-drove by Lee O'Donnell. And it just shows you right there how tough this course still is. They're battling to get to the top. That's Brocky right there.
Yeah, it's a lot of slate right there, a lot of rock. He was trying to take a different hill. He was trying to take a different hill off to the left there. Of course, that would probably cut a couple seconds off on him. But he figured out, hey, man, he said, that's just too tough. I'm turning around. I'm going back the other way. I should have went to start with. But there's nothing wrong with that. You got to try different strategies and stuff if you're behind or a lap behind or, 10 seconds, minute, whatever. So that's kind of what they're doing. If you can see it on the screen here, that's exactly what they're doing.
And just on screen right there, we saw John Grounds in his Daystar Power Jeep cruise on through, looking smooth. We've got two different cameras out on course, and we wish we could show you more, but we're bringing you a lot more than we thought we could anyways. So, again, a huge shout-out to the Hammer King production crew for making this happen, bringing all the internet, all the different satellites, putting cameras all over the course. We have our live drones out here. There's a lot of behind the scenes. So, if you're enjoying yourself back at home, hashtag Ultra4 Production, Hammer King Production, and give them a shout-out and thank them for putting this event on and bringing it home to you guys in your living room.
Yes, please show your input there. Make a couple good comments and stuff to let us know we can do better for you. Make more improvements so we can bring the action more to your living room if need to be, if you can't make it for whatever reason. Definitely appreciate you watching, though. Got a lot of action coming up, don't we?
Yeah, after this race, we're going to have the first ever Kids Cup. That's a 170 race. And I hear some action. That is Cade Rod coming out of the Steal It Wood exit. He's just finishing his second race. He had a long first lap. He had some kind of issue, but he's back on course. It sounds like Cade did have a little flop, and that he was the hang-up at that Hillbilly Stomp. So tough break for Cade, but the car still looks like it's in good shape, and he's still on course running hard, part of Team Jimmy's Army. I'm sure Randy Rod and Cotton Rod are back home watching. They were excited when he left the line first and were nervous when he didn't come through, but he's safe and sound and back to the racing action. And then after that at 3:30, it will be the 4400 Unlimited guys, and I've heard a little rumor it's very possible they'll run more than 6 laps, so time will tell on that. And then tonight, the Big O dealership, they have Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and all those. They threw out $7,500 on the line for the fastest to the top. The SRRS versus Ultra 4. We just heard the Gomez brothers say they will hopefully have a couple cars running in the shootout. We have Tim Cameron on scene and roughly 15 other bouncers. So Cade Rod took a little bit of a tumble earlier. He's a lap down. but he's turned it on. He just turned the fastest lap of the day with a 14:51. Cade Rod's on a mission trying to reel those guys back in. So Cade he's driving the wheels off that. Another stock class, Pro Comp stock class, Justin Bainey coming through, heading out on his third lap. So far, so good. We've had lots of racing action for the 2018 KMC Wheels Battle in the BlueGrass. We're just outside of Bedford, Kentucky, Dirty Turtle Off-Road Park. We've had lots of action, lots of fun. I see Albert Contreras coming out, but could that be Casey Gilbert? I believe so. So Casey Gilbert was able to get around Sean Reisky at some point. Casey Gilbert with a lap time of 16:06. So he's getting around Albert Contreras in the short course at the... I don't think Albert sees him back there, but he's going to know he's back there at some time. Well, Shannon, what do we got?
Well, I'm finding this almost as fun as Oklahoma right now, because really, it was Gilbert first, then it was Reisky first. And there's Reisky. And that was... yeah, that was, nope, that's their lap time. And it looks like that's their lap's time. So, yeah, lap time, 33 seconds behind him. So Reisky's still in first overall, but Casey really turned it on with that, with a 16:06 lap time that time. His team up here, I told him he had to do it, but it literally went Gilbert, Reisky, Gilbert. Now Gilbert's back in the physical lead, but he still has to be a minute ahead of Reisky to actually win this race. So how do you keep telling him, turn it on, turn it on, turn it on? You got somebody running up the back of you, but they're going to have to.
And you know he's already got it turned on. We just saw Jody Ford come through also, heading out for his fifth lap. So physically on course, Casey Gilbert, Sean Reisky, and Jody Ford. They're all in the 4800 G2 Legends class. Casey Gilbert got hung up a little bit by Albert Contreras, but he hit the horn, and Albert, being the class act he is, pulled over. Casey Gilbert in the Monster Energy woods as we speak, and so is Albert diving off in. So Sean Reisky, Jody Ford in the Dirty Turtle short course as we speak. Casey Gilbert running a smooth race. So's Sean Reisky and Jody Ford. This is going to be a race to the finish. And how about Cade Rod having his little tumble on his first lap and comes out and does a 14:51, so over a minute faster than Casey Gilbert's lap he just had.
Oh yeah, definitely. Those guys, I mean, they're just playing it back and forth all the way. I mean, you know, if you're watching the whole race there online, and I mean, because of course we can't see it, so we're watching online too. I mean, you can see the guys. I mean, they're just picking all these different ways. I mean, like, oh no, I think it's dry enough. We're just going to shoot up this hill, or I think we'll try this next hill. I mean, because there's, like you said, there's several different ways to get up this hill to make it'll save a minute or two or half a minute, and that's what they're doing. So I mean, it's any kind of strategy, man. It's anybody's game here. Race on, you know. That's what it is.
So it looks like that should be the 45-17 Jesse Oliver. He's a lap down. And there's our physical fourth place, Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s car, driven by Eric Davis and Lee O'Donnell in Brocky. That car still looks smooth. They are still pushing pretty hard. Jesse Oliver just sent it over the Holley EFI launch. And it sounds like it, or it looks like the front winch may fall off of Jesse Oliver. He's been really pushing hard and it's bouncing around. It's sitting a little bit loose. That looks like that's going to be Cody St. Clair, I believe, coming through the KMC start-finish. Yes, it is. He just finished his second lap, so he's a couple laps down, but he's still moving strong. So physically on course, it's Sean Reisky, Casey Gilbert, Jody Ford, and Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s car driven by Eric Davis. We hear a horn going off. It looks like Eric Davis is trying to get around Jesse Oliver, which Jesse pulls over, another class act move, and Eric Davis gets around. Another fast guy, Matt Howell. So that should put Matt. Oh, Matt is a lap down, I'm mistaken. So he's halfway through his race. Remember, when the white flag comes out, everybody behind them, no matter how many laps down they are, gets the last lap. And then once the checkers come out, that is the last lap for everybody. No matter if you're finishing your first lap, your sixth lap, you are done after our leader wins the race.
You know, it's pretty funny, Miles, is a lot of these guys got different horns. I've noticed they've got different horns and different sirens and stuff. And I noticed a while ago, one of the guys, he hit the siren. Well, it actually sounded like an actual police car trying to pull somebody over. And the comical part was that the guy he was trying to get around, the guy sped up. So I mean, like we had like a chase going. So it's like a natural reaction here. I'm not trying to say that he felt like he was running from the cops. It gave him a little more adrenaline rush, and now he's driving a little bit faster. But it's pretty entertaining to watch that.
We see Cody St. Clair diving into the Monster Energy Wood entrance. And in the short course, Matt Howell, part of Tribe 16 with Adam Shear riding shotgun of the 4510. I'm sure Rhonda's back at home watching. Usually she comes most of the races. Miss seeing her, but I'm sure she's tuned in watching Matt do very well in this race.
Yeah, we had one just a minute ago come across the starting gate up here, and he come up and he hit so hard, just a big old puff of smoke come up, and it just smelled like gear grease up here in the tower. And just like, man, what the heck was that?
So right now I'll give a quick rundown for the 4600 Pro stock classes. First, Ken Carter. Second, Christopher Doria. And third, Michael Justo. Fourth, Justin Bainey. Fifth, Albert Contreras. And seventh, John Makowitz. In the 4500 Rubicon Express modified class, it's Vaughn Gittin Jr., driven by Eric Davis. Sean Rance Sr. second. Dwayne Garrettson third. Jesse Oliver fourth, Matt Howell fifth, Rob Matzell sixth, Cody St. Clair seventh, Dustin Friesen eighth. He was the fastest guy, so he's having some issue. John Grounds and Jimmy Jack round that up. So for the 4800 G2 Legends class, so it is still Sean Reisky just inching out Casey Gilbert on corrected time. So first, Sean Reisky. Second, Casey Gilbert. Third, Jody Ford. Fourth, Rick Levesque. Fifth, Jonathan Terhune. Sixth, Mike Moore, Bob Wimmer, Jeremy Purick, and Cade Rod. Man, these guys are racing hard. That's pretty cool to see. This may be a tick-off. Remember, it is on corrected time, so we are doing our best. We got 3 races going on at once. The scoring people are doing an amazing job keeping me honest. So if I do mess up, I do apologize. Everything I do say is unofficial, but they're doing a great job helping me out. So right now the race is between Sean Reisky and Casey Gilbert. It's going to be fun to watch that all the way to that checkered flag. But Casey Gilbert is physically in front of Sean Reisky, but they have been so close. It'll be very interesting to see them finish their 4th lap, head out for 5. So next time around, we see Casey Gilbert, Sean Reisky, and Jody Ford. They will be getting the white flag heading out on their last lap, and everybody else, no matter what lap they're on, will get that white flag. So here shortly, we'll have some action here in the Dirty Turtle short course, and it's going to be interesting. Casey Gilbert and Sean Reisky have been swapping up on corrected time. Jody Ford's not too far off their pace, so it's going to be a battle all the way to the finish. I love races that are close like that. This corrected time makes it very interesting.
Well, I'll tell you what, running these races, three races at one time, it sure makes it good when having those transponders, being able to keep track of everybody and who's doing what their time is, and how fast the lap is, and everything. Just makes it so much nicer than trying to guess it, because we can't see what's going on out in the woods. I mean, we got great camera crew out there though. That's really helping us out a bunch.
We just had Sean Rance Sr. come through, and Jeremy Purick. And having a little bit of issue coming out of the Steelett Wood exit. It's kind of a little bit squirrely, not sure if he's having mechanical issues or just had a bad line, hitting some mud.
Yeah, I believe it kind of pulled him over to the tire, and he kind of almost got up on the tire there and backed out and took off, and then somebody had pulled him back again, so hopefully it was just a bad line he was on.
And that was Dwayne Garrettson hitting the Holly EFI launch. On screen, it looks like Mr. Matt Howell, the 4510 Tribe 16 machine, with Adam Shear running shotgun. I believe they are a lap down, but they're still making good time.
Okay, you can hear him coming out of the woods right there. I mean, he's got his horn on trying to get around him. So,
and that's Cade Rod getting around Randall Holmes. Cade Rod, remember, he was our KMC hard charger, rolled it, got righted, and then threw down the fastest lap of the day. He just had another 4:29, so he's 15 seconds off his pace, but that's almost a minute faster than our leaders. So Cade Rod is still absolutely sending it out there. All four Nitto tires holding up. That Jimmy's chassis looking good. So tough break for Cade because he is absolutely flying out there. But he is racing this series for points, so he's trying to salvage every point he can. Cade Rod's doing great. Shannon, you got anything for us?
I was actually coming out to talk about Cade. He's killing it on those fast times. It's a bummer he was down as long as he was, because we were just confirming when the white flag goes out, the white flag goes out for everybody. And looking at it, Gilbert and Reisky are probably 5 minutes out at this point. We're not going to get to see him again, so he's going to get the white flag one lap down. He's done a great job getting up there. You know, I actually wanted to continue the story from Oklahoma a little bit, because in front of us, Cade came up and he cut off all those wristbands. He was on the podium. Turned out he got a little lost in the woods after he had some steering problems, so that did cost him that first place after he cut off those bands. For those that don't know the story, all of a sudden it's Shamokin, so 2 months after King of the Hammers, we're going to put a band on Cade Rod, and he has all this other band on. I'm like, what's this other band? He's like, this is my band from King of the Hammers where I didn't win, and I'm not taking it off until I win again. So he's wearing that band, and every race he's raced with us since then, he's added a band and added a band. And so he had 4 bands on his hand at Oklahoma. He cut them off because he thought he had the win, and unfortunately, he got a little bit of an advantage there. It was unintentional because he got himself a little bit turned around. So there was a time penalty that cost him that first place spot. But he called me, and he said, Shannon, do you think you can send me those vans back again? So we sent him all the vans. He's wearing all those vans, and those vans will be on his wrist until he wins. Unfortunately, I was hoping we could cut them right off again at this next race, but it's not looking like that today. But honestly, talk about being down and out and coming back and hauling the mail. His time is a minute and a half faster than anybody else out there. So you really got to hand it to Cade Rod on the good sportsmanship, the coming back out, having a good positive outlook about the whole thing, and we're happy to see him doing well out there. It's a shame he's probably not going to be in that top 3 today.
Thanks again, Shannon, for all the tidbits. I love that behind-the-scenes story. While she was talking, we had Randall Holmes come through, Michael Justo, John Makowitz, John Grounds, and Ken Carter all heading out for another lap. And the next time we see
You are right, Miles. It is nice to kind of know that behind-the-scenes stuff, because a lot of us, you know, some people like me, they only get to see you guys like maybe once a year, watch you all on live feed or TV or whatever.
And I'm going to interrupt you real quick. I think this is Casey Gilbert getting his white flag. He's out on his last lap. Casey Gilbert still looking fast, looking smooth. He's got a great run. One more lap for Casey Gilbert. Now the trick is going to see, where is Sean Reisky? Casey Gilbert just threw down a 14:58, so he has turned it up a little bit. Wow, Casey Gilbert's on a mission. Remember, he's got to win by right around that 1 minute mark. So we're excited to see. We're watching the split times. Where is Sean Reisky? So remember, Casey Gilbert has to beat Sean Reisky by 1 minute. And if I'm doing my little quick count, we're about at that minute mark right now, so he may be our corrected time leader. He is physically out front, but Sean Reisky's been giving him a run for his money all day, but he has yet to enter the short course. Could this be him? So coming through is Sean Reisky. So where's our split? It's going to be down to the wire.
Yeah.
Sounds like, if I'm doing quick math, he's about 15 seconds behind Gilbert on corrected time. So Casey Gilbert has turned it up a little bit, but Sean Reisky is not giving up yet. So it's going to, this last lap will be interesting. And here comes Jody Ford, who's our physical third place. Just threw down a great time. Holy cow, we got a race on our hands. The 4800 G2 Legends class. Jody Ford still looking smooth out there. Sean Reisky hitting this savvy off-road roller in the Dirty Turtle Whoop section. Looks like here comes Albert Contreras. He'll get his white flag, as of everybody that crosses the KMC start-finish from here on out. Albert Contreras still pushing hard. He's heading out for lap 4. So could that put Contreras in first on corrected time in his class? I'm not for sure.
Okay, so now if you look at the screen, you can see the woods course right there. We're getting ready to watch them come into the woods there and see which path they're going to take this time. Some of them's down to what, almost the last lapper almost. So they're, like I said, they're going to be picking and choosing which way they think they can get to the fast. Ain't no time to figure out which one to go to next. It's going to be go to the one they know best, that's for sure. Just try to make as much time as they possibly can do.
Jody Ford leaving the short course, heading to the Monster Energy Wood entrance. So the race we have on our hands right now is Casey Gilbert, Sean Reisky, and Jody Ford. That's going to be a fun one to watch. Remember, this is corrected time. They left in 20-second increments. So I believe Casey Gilbert has to beat Sean Reisky by 1 minute. I see Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s car coming through. Driven by Eric Davis and Lee O'Donnell. So he's physically 4th on course, but I believe he's 1st in his class now. So he's driving a great, great race. So Albert Contreras, we just saw come through, I was mistaken. He's physically in 4th place in the 4600 Pro Comp stock class. It's still Christopher Doria, Michael Justo, Ken Carter, then Albert Contreras. Shannon, what do we got?
Hearing over our PCI radio that there's been a call for a chainsaw. It's something we don't have on West Coast races is trees. We do have some trees here. I haven't heard if it's one of our West Coast drivers, but there's a chainsaw needed to extract a driver from the trees that they got themselves into. No injuries or anything like that, but that's not a call we really get when we're racing in the desert. So thought that was pretty funny. And Jody Ford's on screen right now. I'm going to hand that back to you. That's all your gig.
Well, thanks again, Shannon. A chainsaw, that's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens, see if that changes the course much at all. But JT Taylor did say in the drivers' meeting, if you need a tree moved, he will do it. Coming in is Matt Howell and Adam Shearer, 4510, Tribe 16 machine. They're heading out for their 5th lap. He's got a smooth run going for him. The car still looks like it's in great shape. That guy does great prep work on that car. Usually he polishes the entire skins and all that, and you can't even tell what color it is.
Not at all. I mean, it is covered one end to the other, that's for sure. But he's still running good. I mean, he's running good. If all 4 tires are still up, I mean, he's doing a good job. He's keeping it together.
I see Cody St. Clair heading back into the Monster Energy Wood section. Coming through is Jesse Oliver, the 4517. It sounds like his winch is still having some issues. So it's just for looks for right now. We'll see if it'll stay on the rest of this race. Oh, he's jumping and the whole winch comes off the bumper, lands back down. It's held on just by the wires.
I think it's got enough mud right now. The mud's kind of holding it in place.
It's not holding it too well off over the Hawley EFI jump. It came out of the bumper hole and then landed back in. So we'll see if it makes it this last lap or not.
Yeah, but that dirty turtle mud, that's some pretty sticky stuff. It's almost like clay, pond clay.
So next time around, we see Casey Gilbert, Sean Reisky, Jody Ford.
Oh, there it goes,
Vaughn
there it goes.
Gittin.
There goes the winch right there. The winch he just lost the winch off of it. It's out. No, there it goes. He's dragging the winch behind him. Yeah, he's dragging a winch behind him. The cable's still hooked to it. It's dragging a winch underneath the buggy.
I mean, that looks pretty funny going through there, but we hope it doesn't get wrapped around the drive shaft or the axle and cause him some issues. We'll see what happens.
They need to let him know that cable's coming.
But he's fishing through. So there's a great shot of one of our wood sections, the G2 hill climb. There's one of our other sponsors, Squatch Box. This is our third and final race for the Four Wheel Parts Eastern Regional Series. Up next will be our third and final race for the Laser Nut Western Regional Race in Ridgecrest, California, August 11th and 12th. And that sets us up for the Nitto National Championship, October 20th and 21st. We hold that just outside of Reno, Nevada at the Wild West Motorsports Park. If you are anywhere in that area or have the time off to travel out there, it's a beautiful part of the country. Go check out Reno Tahoe and come to the Nitto National Championship. It's a great race to watch. Huge grandstands. You can see the entire short course. This is a 6-lap race. They did start in 20-second increments. It will be on adjusted time, so we won't know who wins this thing until the very, very end. Right now, I believe Casey Gilbert was about 15 seconds ahead of Sean Reisky, but Jody Ford was hot on their heels.
Okay, Miles, sound like we got somebody coming out.
That is Rick Levesque and his Bomber chassis, part of Jack Racing, getting his white flag. He'll be heading out for his 6th and final lap, so he will finish this race. So great job, Rick Levesque. This is his first season with us, having a great outing. Looks like that was Mike DeVore, the number 8100. Heading out on his 5th and final lap. We have the one and only Texas Jesus waving the flags for us, doing a great job.
Oh my gosh, Joe. He's jumping it.
Oh! Yeah, that's strong.
Here comes Cade Rod. So I think Cade Rod just threw down another fastest lap of the day with a 14:20. So his Jimmy's chassis is really putting it to work. Cade Rod's going to send it over the Holly EFI launch. Hits the 4-wheel part landing. His Nitto tires holding up. Cade Rod's going to push all the way to the end. He is a few laps down. Cade Rod's going to head out for his 5th lap. So he is one full lap behind. Hurry up! We have another guy coming out of the Steelett Wood exit. And I believe this is going to be Sean Rance Sr., and it is the 4531. We have Mike DeVore, K-Rod, and Sean Rance Sr. in the Dirty Turtle short course as we speak. And K-Rod in Nitto corner right now, still pushing all the way to the end. He was our KMC hard charger for the Legends class. And had a little bit of hiccup on his first lap, rolled over, got righted, and is going to push hard all the way to the finish line. So that will still salvage him a pretty good race.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job. You know, I've seen a lot of crashes here at this park, you know, sliding off, hitting tires and stuff. That's the first time I've ever seen a drone crash. That was pretty good.
I'm sure that's the first, but not the last of today. We'll see what happens.
Right there is Christopher in his Cherokee Sport.
So thank you everybody here on site for checking in. Thank you for everybody back home tuning in, ultra4racing.com/live. Check out the King of the Hammers Facebook. Hit that share button. We're about to wrap up this race here shortly, and then we'll log back off of Facebook but come back online for the big race, the 4400 Unlimited class at 3:30. We're going to do the first ever Kids Cup 170 at 2:30, so please stay tuned in the rest of the day. We got lots of stuff going on. If our lap times are still similar to what they have been for Casey Gilbert, Sean Reisky, and Jody Ford, we could be less than a minute away from getting our winners in here, and it's going to be close. Remember, Casey Gilbert has to finish over 1 minute ahead of Sean Reisky, and he had a 15-second lead heading out on their last lap. It's going to be interesting.
I can hear the roaring coming from the woods.
That's Dwayne Garrettson, so he is not. He's heading out he'll get to run one last lap, number 26. He's heading out for his 6th and final lap. There's a couple of our stock Jeeps out there still running. I believe that's Jesse Oliver. See, we saw him in the short course lose his winch. Good shot of Sean Rance Sr. on screen.
Miles, this has definitely been an exciting race, you know. I mean, we've seen a lot, seen the guys change the strategy 30 different times, and seen the first place changed around so many different times. I mean, it's been a good safe race, that's for sure.
We had this morning the 4900 Can-Am UTV class. We're about to wrap up the Everyman Challenge Series with the 4600 Pro Comp stock guys, the 4500 Rubicon Express Modified, and the 4800 G2 Legends class are racing right now, getting ready to wind this race up. Up next, we'll do the 170 Kids Cup. That'll be very cute to watch, so stay tuned in for that. But at 3:30, it'll be the 4400 Unlimited, guys, so do not miss that race. Weather is still holding up. We have not had any rain yet today. It rained a lot overnight, but right now the track is getting better and better. We'll see if it holds up.
Miles, you're doing a really good job on the weather today. Very excited. Keeping the sun in, keeping the clouds over us, and no rain.
They are calling for rain later this afternoon, right around that 5 o'clock. So hopefully we can get the big guys out there and racing before it starts raining. We'll see. If it starts raining mid-race, that'll be make for an interesting day.
Definite game changer.
I hear a lot of horsepower out there. Could this be Casey Gilbert coming through the Steelett Woods exit? Somebody's making a lot of noise. I believe it should be him. And yes, that is Casey Gilbert. Texas Jesus has the checkered flag ready. Casey Gilbert grabbing the checkered flag. Great, great race. So physically finishing in first. Remember, now we got to start our timer 1 minute in front of Sean Reisky. So the 2018 KMC Wheels battle in the BlueGrass right now. Casey Gilbert just grabs the checkered flag. Remember, corrected time, he's got to be 1 full minute ahead of Sean Reisky. It's going to be close. And don't forget, Jody Ford's going to be in the mix also. Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s car, driven by Eric Davis, should be coming in shortly. It's going to be close.
We got 28 people.
Sounds like we got about 10 to 15 seconds before Casey should lock this win down. We'll see. Remember, everything is unofficial. Make sure nobody did cut course. Make sure there's no red flags thrown. But it looks like I think Casey Gilbert will wrap up first place. I still do not see Sean Reisky. The 1 minute timer, I believe, is up right about now. So if my clock is correct, Casey Gilbert just won this race. So congratulations, Casey Gilbert. We will do awards after the 4400 race for all classes. We will be live for that. So Casey Gilbert's car still looks like it's in pretty good shape. And he was talking earlier, he is paid and registered for the 4400 class. So I think he'll come And here's Sean Reisky, followed shortly by Jody Ford, so that could mix that up. So Jody Ford actually started in front of Sean Reisky. So Sean Reisky second, Jody Ford third, unofficially. But that was a close race by all three of our top podium guys in the 4800 G2 Legends class. What a great run for them.
My hat off to all of them. I tell you what, they've done a great job. The guys were definitely did a great job fighting back and forth on that. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we got another race coming up here just real shortly with the 170 Kids Cup race. It's the 170s. These are two-wheel drive. They look like little players, two-wheel drives. And the kids, the race that we've been having, kids aging over between 4 years old to 9 years old, running these little races out here. I mean, this right here is where it starts, right here at DirtyTotalOffroadPark.com. Just follow us on Facebook, like us, check out all of our upcoming event races and stuff. But anyways, the race they're getting ready to have here in a few minutes is going to be these kids on these little 170s. It's a nice little race. The kids love it from 4 years old to 9 years old. I mean, they just get so excited and watch them going around the track. The age limit was up to 12 years old, but the ones we've had run with us was the age I told you. But I tell you, it's a lot of fun. But this is where it starts at. I mean, you get the kids involved when they're 4 years old, get them out here racing, let them get the fever. This is where it's at.
So we have another finisher. That was John Grounds. He just finished his third lap. And Casey Gilbert and Scott Decker crawling out of the car. I saw his dad giving Casey a high five. Hey, Casey, are you going to run the 4400 class as well? So a strong finish for Cody St. Clair as well, just finishing up his fourth lap. Remember, once our winner gets the checkered, everybody behind him gets the checkered. No more people get to go out on course.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be logging out of Facebook here in a few minutes, and we'll be sure to notify you to come back on and watch us, because once we start doing the 170 kids race there, if we decide to go ahead and do that, we'll definitely let you know and come back live and you can watch us, watch the kids get out here and race. It's really neat. I mean, it's definitely not a speed thing. It's just kids get out here and they run these, and it's like the big deal, for the kids. They get so excited and pumped up, and that's all they talk about.
So it looks like that should be the 48.64 of Bod Wimmer, just finishing his third lap. Casey Gilbert does get top of the box for the 4800 G2 Legends class in his Miller Motorsports chassis.
Big W.
So Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s car is our first 4500 Rubicon Express modified class, driven by Eric Davis and Lee O'Donnell. They are our first finisher in the 4500 class, but remember, it is corrected time, isn't it, Shannon?
It is absolutely corrected time, and I wanted to clarify, because it isn't Vaughn in the car, and you've mentioned that a few times. Vaughn and I actually talked because he wasn't planning to come to Kentucky, because he did have a conflict with more of his real job, which is the drifting side of things. So he had never planned to come here. And I looked at him and I said, "You're leading the points, though, and you know you can do a substitute driver for a race. One race a series." And so he was like, "Yeah." And he was having a perfect run, and get it on his co-driver for keeping, his co-driver. Never driven that car before, keeping him a perfect run. And you know what? That's the last regional you're going to see that car in the 4500 class, because he's already committed to racing Ultra 4 next season. So I'm looking forward to seeing Brocky move it up to a whole nother level next year. So congrats to Vaughn on kind of a perfect season on the East Coast.
He's had a great run. He is from the East Coast, and his background is off-road, but his full-time job is drifting. He has that Mustang, and absolutely insane what he can do with that rig. So it's cool to see that, and yeah, he's going to step up. I've had a few conversations. He's going to back half the car, do a little bit of modification to the suspension, put some bigger shocks on it, and race in the 4400 class next year. I just got the nod from Casey Shear. He is qualified and registered for the 4400 class, and he put a big old smile on his face, said, yep, I'll be racing the 4400 class at 3:30. So he got a lot of seat time today. The car still looks like it's in great shape. Can't tell what color it is. So Casey Gilbert will be racing with us.
Yeah, I'm keeping all the names.
So we just saw Albert Contreras come across. He finished 4 laps. So we'll see how that pans out on corrected time. But he did finish the race. So thank you everybody for staying tuned in. Today is the 2018 KMC Wheels Battle in the Bluegrass. We're just outside of Bedford, Kentucky at the Dirty Turtle Off-Road Park. If you are watching this on Facebook, we're gonna log off for a little bit, but then we'll log right back in when the kids race kicks off, hopefully in about 20 or 30 minutes. It'll be a lot of fun to watch, so stay tuned in. And if you're tuned in on ultra4racing.com/live, we'll be here with you all day. Make sure to hit our Twitter, our Instagram, our Facebook, hit the share button. Lots of stuff going on, so we're going to log off Facebook right now. Thanks for staying tuned in. We'll be right back. Crossing the finish line just now was Cade Rod, finishing 5 full laps. And he did set the fastest lap of the day with right around that 14-minute mark. Here comes Matt Howe finishing his 5th lap. So he'll have a pretty good run in the 4500 Rubicon Express Modified. And right behind him was Jesse Oliver finishing his fast 5th lap as well. So corrected time. My brain's getting a little joggled, so I'm going to not guess what's going on there yet. We will post everything official on the King of the Hammers Facebook this evening. We will do awards for every race after the 4400 race. Well, thank you everybody for staying tuned in. Again, I'm Miles Hasselquist along with Tim Smith. We'll be with you the rest of the afternoon. It looks like Rick Levezzo just crossed the line. And Randall Holmes. We'll have a few more finishing, but we're going to take a quick break. We're going to do the 170 kid race after this. But while we take a quick break, check out some of these highlights from earlier.
If something happens to the car on the track, whether I wreck it, I break something on the car, I'm not the only one going home disappointed. When I'm on the racetrack, I have this promise in the back of my head to these people that I'm not going to let them down. You know, I give it my 100% every single race, every single time I'm out there, and I owe it to these people that have put their life on pause to help me pursue my dream. that is one of the coolest things I've ever experienced, and I'm so grateful for it that it's crazy.
Glad to be back in Oklahoma. This year, definitely not the tornadoes and the nasty rain that we had. It's going to be dusty and windy and crazy hot.
So the Oklahoma race is an east and west points race. So it's going to be a very full race. Everybody's here. You got the East Coast guys and the West Coast guys. It's really like a mini King of the Hammers.
Dust is going to be the key factor out there. Dust is going to be miserable. So the guy that gets out front, we're starting 30 seconds apart. You think, 30 seconds, the first 2 or 3 guys are going to have pretty clean air, and all the rest of us are going to be eating dirt all day. So yeah, the top qualifying spot, it's going to be amazing. But that's going to get you through lap 1. Then lap 2 and 3, you're going to be in lap traffic.
So we rolled the first time and landed it back on the wheels and knew we had a flat. Came into the next turn and that flat tire caught us and sent us over the second time.
We didn't do too well qualifying, obviously. So now we gotta get the car ready for the race. We have a race to get to the race now, so not what we wanted, but it happens.
My dad's first, I should be 6th, and I think she's 8th.
I just hope they don't run me over tomorrow. Give me a chance. Otherwise, I might have to confiscate their toys.
These races, we treat these just like King of the Hammers. The prep, everything that goes into these races, we're here to win. This is a standalone. We're trying to win championship points. We're trying to win an East Coast or a West Coast. So it's not really practicing for the Hammers or anything like that. It's definitely its own entity. If we've got a problem, I'm going to pull into the pits. Otherwise, we're going to keep racing. We've got enough fuel, hopefully, to run the whole race. And unless we got flat tires or have problems like that, then we shouldn't be pulling into the pits at all.
What a day of racing. Lauren Healy.
Yeah, absolutely happy. Qualifying was very important, getting out front, having sort of clean air, chasing down Shannon, who's one of my favorite people in the sport. I was just trying to run a smart race, not make mistakes.
Oh my gosh, complete turnaround. Crazy, what a comeback.
Second place, Derek West, 2:27, 20 seconds. Third place, Levi Shirley, 2:27 and 30 seconds.
There's a shadow, and I want to step out of that shadow and I want to progress, and I
feel like the only way to do that is to prove myself to everybody else around me. You know, winning or even podiuming.
I push it, you know, and I push myself and I push the limits of the car. This car has allowed me to push harder than I ever have before.
Really just trying to strive for perfection. You obviously have to spend the time and do the homework, days, nights, weekends, weekdays. We're not letting any grass grow underneath our feet, that's for sure.
We're out here in Rancho Cordova, Prairie City OHV Park. It's an awesome short course with a few rocks mixed into it. It'll eat you up real quick and spit you out if you're not careful.
There's some medium-sized like loop jumps out towards the back, which is kind of sketchy. Our car already tumbled there earlier today. Pretty much everything else around the whole race course is super fast, so it's going to be exciting. I mean, it's just adrenaline rush all the way around the lap.
Out here racing a new car and probably got a little bit excited. Probably don't have enough seat time to be throwing the car around like that. Smashed the wheel and tire, ripped the lower A-arm off. Luckily, you know, awesome friends, awesome crew, Nick Nelson, all my guys, you know, jumped in, helped. We put it together last night, so it was time to head out, start back of the pack in the prelims today.
Last year it was a little slower, a little bit more technical. This year it's actually a little bit more go fast and actually more like a short course or motocross track. And I like that. This car loves it. You know, last year we got lucky and won this race, and I hope we can repeat it again this year.
The anticipation has been building all weekend long for this exact moment. It's going to be 12 laps of wide open racing. JP Gomez getting ready to take off. We have green flag racing. JP Gomez taking the whole shot. Looks like Waylon dives in.